Good afternoon, football fans everywhere. Ted Fournier and Phil Henry here to bring you GCYAA football here from Garden City High School. We are playing and going to watch the big boys, Phil, here on this cloudy Saturday afternoon. This is the varsity football players, the 12 and 13-year-olds, and the Cougars in their blue uniforms are going to face the Orioles from Livonia in the white uniforms.
Well, normally when you're the host of a game or host of anything, Ted, you want to be a gracious host. But this is one time when we need the varsity to step up and be very ungracious, if you will. We watch the freshmen and then the JVs get beat by these Livonia Orioles. So it's time for this varsity team to put it on them and see if they can't come away with a victory in this nightcap. That second game that we just did was very entertaining. We're expecting this one to be a big one, too. Ball's kicked out of bounds. Here we are. Garden City's going to take over 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line as the kick went out of bounds. And 1st and 10, so lineman will head up there and taking over the quarterback. Looks like number 2 for the, it's going to be Vincent Murray, 134-pounder. 13-year-old, and he's going to be calling signals. I formation for the Garden City Cougars, and he takes it right up front himself, calls his own number. A terrific play right off the bat, Ted. I like that.
It gets some positive yardage, lets you have a lot of options when you got 2nd and 6. We got a whole new set of cheerleaders down there, enthusiastic, really loud. Cheerleaders on both sides of the court, and we will tell you guys that these ladies practice just as hard as the young men, and we're going to try to feature them as much as possible here today.
Number 2, Vincent Murray, calling the signals. I formation for Garden City. 2 receivers split out.
Orioles sneaking up.
Pitch is out. Number 41 takes the pitch, and Hunter Sparks found no running room at all, Ted, as he's going to lose about 5 yards. That's going to bring up 2nd down and about 13 yards to go for the first down.
The Orioles
3rd and 14.
Orioles brought all their linebackers right up in the line and had about 8 people right on the line of scrimmage, and that makes that play hard to develop. When you have that many people on the line of scrimmage and you have a play that takes time to develop, the defense is going to win more times than the offense.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, of course, maybe Vincent Murray probably brought him in there when he did that quarterback sneak. So it took him out of their pass defense and brought him up to the line of scrimmage. And here we are, 3rd down and 14 to go. We're in the opening seconds of the first quarter. Score is 0-0. Livonia Orioles in the white and black against the Garden City Cougars in the blue and orange.
Yeah,
flag
penalty
on the play, and Murray tries to get outside, and he found absolutely nothing.
See what this flag is. Wow, we have a hard time hearing. We got a lot of things going on in the field here. Doppler Tom, Tom Iwinski is the local Garden City meteorologist, and he's trying to give us the heads up on what the field conditions are. And
wholesale changes as it brings up 4th down and a long 14 to go. 10 minutes to go here in the first quarter of action. Garden City took the opening kickoff at the 35-yard line, and they lost 4 yards in the process. Punt formation. The ball is kicked in for in. It hits at the 50-yard line, takes a nice Garden City hop. And covering the ball up is the Livonia number 4 is Jake Olson, as the ball bounced by him, and then he did a wise job to cover it up. So the Orioles will take over 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line on their first series with the football.
Well, let's see. I didn't hear it.
Over center for the Orioles as they take their first position. Actually, he's going to be from the shotgun formation. Looks like number 9, Evan Cummings. Spread formation. Cummings pitches out to the wide man. He cuts up infield. Hit, spun, almost to the first down yard marker there, Ted, as number 84, I think, Daniel Domowski.
I really like this offense that we've seen the first formation by the Orioles. They have actually 5 guys blocking, and they have 6 guys that are spread all over the field. 2 receivers. You got 3-4 people in the backfield. Almost anything can happen, and I think this is the future of football, basically, at the high school and the college level. You're going to see a lot more of this stuff.
In the shotgun formation. Ball's handed off to the up man coming around. There's going to be a flag on the play, and that's number 23, Jacob Chantrez. Chantrez fell forward, and that's a little quicker moving play right there, Ted. I know you don't like that east-west running, but it was a little quicker action play.
I just don't like the Veer offense. I like this offense.
It looks like it's going to be a holding call, going to be marked off against the Orioles.
You know, one of the things, if you watch high school football, especially on the championship weekend, you see all kinds of offenses and all kinds of systems, and you see you got systems going back to World War II sometimes, winning state championships. But right here, the Orioles are coming out in this, I don't know if you want to call it the Wildcat or the spread, but it's a multi-option offense, and you have 5 blockers down and the other 6 people. In high school, we used to call this razzle-dazzle football.
And they're going to go with the tight end situation right now in this formation as the quarterback is in the shotgun formation. Hands off, number 1, trying to find some running room on the outside. That's Logan Fryer. Took the handoff from Evan Cummings.
In that formation, it looks like the old Texas-Oklahoma wishbone, but the front man of the bone is actually the quarterback instead of your fullback. And you have 2 tailbacks on either side of you, so you have options. You can do the old cross buck, or you can run it any way you want to, or step in between, and you have 2 blockers in front of you.
Absolutely. Well, it gives you a little bit more field of vision, if you will, a little more time to react. Now there's your 5 down linemen right there, and then 6 players are in an offensive position. Evan Cummings, number 9, in the quarterback position as he takes it on rushing, and it is a set-up screen beautifully, and there's lots of running room up the center of the field, and there he goes.
Goodbye. Was that set up beautifully? The Blue Cougars came running like there was a house fire, and all he did was push the ball over the on-rushing lineman, and he had a 5 blockers there ahead of him.
64-yard pass play to Domzalski. Domzalski, very tall target right there, Ted, and that was set up beautifully, and what a terrific call at that particular time when the first down and 20 yards to go, and resulted in a 64-yard touchdown. Well, we call it run, catch and run.
We have to see that one again, but basically a lineman should know if he got in there that easily, something's wrong.
Well, I think, at that point, there's only one thing you do, and that's just try to disrupt the play, get your hands up in the air and try to disrupt it. But, wow, when Domzalski caught the ball, as you see, he had about 5 blockers in front of him. And there was absolutely no chance on just a terrific play call by the Orioles as they take a quick 6-0 lead here with 8 minutes to go in the first quarter. I'm Phil Henry along with Ted Fournier. We're bringing you varsity action at Garden City Field. Garden City here in this varsity game, they've seen their lower levels lose the first 2 games of this 3-game series today.
Well, it's important to get out on a quick lead, both psychologically and from the aspect in junior football. If you get the lead, you can pretty well dictate what's going to happen the rest of the game. But on that play right there, everybody came at. Everybody's rushing the quarterback, and once you get it past the first line of defense, all you have to do is beat a safety into the end zone.
And at a wall of blocking in front of him as Domzalski kicks off, and this ball is received at about the 25-yard line, finding his way through and up and over the 35, about to the 37-yard line. Looks to be Brandon Wacasey.
Well, this is Garden City's second possession. They didn't do much with it. Basically, Murray went up the middle and around the end a couple times. They have to open up their offense a little bit here and force the Orioles to stop putting 11 people right up there close. Let's see if the linebackers sneak into the line here.
It looks like we're going to have a new quarterback in this set of downs right here. We'll get the number for you and set the players. We've got a player in motion. The pitch is out to number 34, and he finds some running room on the right-hand side. Number 34 is John Giangrande. Nice head of steam. He's got, 169 pounds behind him at the weigh-in time. Avery Emerson, number 11, was the back in motion. And quarterbacking looks like Kyle Becker, number 21. Ted, you got the bifocals on, so you can correct me if I'm wrong. Garden City with the ball, 2nd down and 8. Handoff, looking for some running room, and off the veer formation, finding the tough sledding in there is number Dylan White, number 28. Coming from a slot position, trying to find some running room in the center of the lineup.
Jake Olson, number 4, was basically not going to make the tackle because he was in the way, but he had his back to the runner, but he clogged everything up there, so the runner had nowhere to go.
So Kyle Becker is calling the signals for the second possession for the Garden City Cougars. They're trailing 6-0 in this opening quarter of varsity action.
Garden City needs to get a first down here just for their own adrenaline move.
It's a fake. Becker has the ball, and he's got a receiver
got a man wide open.
Oh, no!
Oh, that's
Dylan White, number 28.
White will be 49 years old, and he'll wake up in a cold sweat someday, and that pass will still be coming at him. Oh, my gosh. There wasn't anybody within 30 yards of White.
Dylan White let that one go right between his fingers. Ted, it's a state of shock at this point.
I think he started running toward the end zone before the ball got there. That's, I think, what happened.
And what a terrific job by faking. They had pretty much set the Livonia team up as it's now 4th down, and in punt formation is Garden City. A nice quick kick, end over end. This ball is going to be dropped, and it's going to be fumbled, and it's going to be recovered.
There's a great break for the Cougars.
And that was a terrific punt. That ball was going, end over end, only sideways. A very hard play to really reel in. And I think it was Evan Cummings down there to try and bring that one in. And he did a cardinal sin right there himself, Ted. He tried to run with the ball before he actually had it.
Now, you know what a good place to do right here? Go back to White. You know, White's over there kicking himself in his hiney or dropping that ball. Get that kid some confidence. Go right back to him and keep him in the game.
Well, that's a great idea as Kyle Becker now is under center, and he's got an I formation. White is at the bottom of the screen, if you will. Long signal count, handed off to the deep back in the I.
Nice bounce.
Moves it outside, and that's Dylan White right there, and he gets the ball. He was the I back, Ted, so that's your call. You want to get him back in the ball game right there.
Get him right back in the game, and now he forgot it. Now he forgets about it.
Here's the punt right here. As you see, that was just ill-advised by Cummings, the quarterback, no less. You know, you would think that he would have just called for the fair catch and just brought that one in. Instead, it was a turnover for Garden City, and they need to take advantage of it. They trail 6-0 here in the first quarter of varsity action. 5 minutes to go.
Well, football is all about field position, and this is a great break for Garden City to get this kind of field position, and they've got to capitalize on it.
Kyle Becker, 2nd down and 6. Fake handoff. This is the same play, and it's wide open again down in the end zone, and this time he brings it in. Dylan White gets a chance for redemption. I think he put the super glue on, reeled that one in, and a 31-yard touchdown pass from from Kyle Becker to Dylan White.
And you know what? That play has been open twice in a row, and if I'm the coach, when I get the ball back, I'm going right back to that play, and Orioles have to prove to Garden City they can stop that play. If not, I abuse them with that play until they learn how to stop it.
Well, and it can set up so many other things, off of a play like that too. So I would have to agree with you as they're in the formation to go for the extra point here at the 2-yard line. Kyle Becker, the deep back is number 34, John Giangrande. Single back formation for the Cougars. Man in motion, Giangrande with the ball, and he is stopped just short of the goal line in his attempt for the extra point. So that'll have a tie score here with 4 minutes and 49 seconds to go in this first quarter. 6 for the Garden City Cougars and 6 for the Livonia Orioles, Ted. And that was a big answer right there. I think you called it perfectly when he dropped that pass to come right back to him. He gave him a running play, and then, boy, went right back with the pass play, and he reeled it in.
You can't at any level, you can't let the player dwell on a failure, Right away, give him some kind of success, give him something little to keep him in the game, or you lose the player. I used to see a coach down in Monroe, and he had a running team. And if you did not stop the running play, he'd run that 8, 12, 15 plays in a row. He said, this play's working. Stop me. I've seen him run it 13 times in a blow against Flat Rock one day. I think it was Jefferson. He ran the same play 13 times in a row.
So we see push-ups being done by this cheerleading group, Ted. The last one really got their workout in that last game. I can't remember, 58-37, I think, was the final score. And they were doing leg kicks and jumping jacks. These girls are starting out with push-ups. 6 push-ups here.
I love this.
There's another miscue by the Orioles as they're having problems on the return team.
Unless you have a kicker that can put the ball into the end zone, make the ball bounce. That's why it's oblong, And we've seen it for 2 games now. Anytime that ball is rolling around, it's anybody's football. I love that kind of football.
Yes, and they were able to fall on this one, and that was the big turnover that Garden City took advantage of in a 21-yard touchdown pass from Kyle Becker to Dylan White. Has tied us up right here, so the Orioles are going to take possession. Last time they had the football, that was that 64-yard screen pass.
Screen pass, center screen too. It was right up the middle.
Tight.
There's a new formation for the Orioles here.
Formation, same quarterback. Cummings hands the ball off, and this one is the deep back in that set right there is number 23, Chantrez. Kind
of like a power I. They have 3 backs there. One's off to the right side, and a lot of times you set your defense to stop it on the right side, and they'll go to the back side of the formation.
So the variety of formations been shown by the Orioles. We have a 6-6 game here in the first quarter of action. I'm Phil Henry along with Ted Fournier. 4 minutes to go. Briskly played first quarter of action. Ball's handed again up to the deep back Chantrez. Chantrez fumbles and stumbles his way up to about the 45-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and about 2 yards to go.
Ball's at the 45, but that time it was a power eye to the left, and they actually followed the strength of the formation. And this is a big play, third down and 2 here. If the Cougars can get a stop and get the ball back, they got some momentum.
Absolutely, they do. Chantrez is the deep back. They're staying with the same formation, Ted. It's like a kind of a power eye formation, if you will. And there was a movement by number 84 as he lunged forward just a hair, and that's Domzalski, the one that was on the receiving end of that 64-yard screen. So this is going to make it now 3rd down and probably about 7 yards to go. And that's a nice break for Garden City right there.
Yeah, we didn't see a whole lot of penalties in the first game that we've done today. This game, there's a penalty there, but penalties can kill a team, can kill a drive, and
so in 3rd down and 7. Back to the, we're calling it a power I formation.
well,
this
now
was a
they're spread all over the field here. There's Orioles laying around all over the place.
Chantrez in motion. This is Evan Cummings with the ball, strictly calling his own number as he.
Oh, nice play. What was that, 58? 50.
59, it would be Trevor Coleman.
Coleman, he came busting in there. He looked a lot like Ted Hendricks, the old linebacker from the Oakland Raiders, coming through there.
And that's been very impressive once they get a grip on the running back to just maintain that grip and actually tighten it. As we see right there, he got him by the jersey, the back of his jersey, and pulled him down very nicely. 4th
down. In this formation, it'd be a good play to kick it away here. There's nobody deep. And that's what they're going to do.
And this ball is going to really roll, Ted. It's really taken a nice Livonia Oriole bounce, and it's going to come dead about the 23-yard line.
Good coaching decision. Long way to go for the 1st down. Nobody back for the Cougars, and a play like that changes the field position. Instead of having an average field position, now you're almost in a negative field position inside your own 25. Good play by the coaching staff for the Orioles.
Yes, it was, and so now taking over at the 23-yard line is going to be the Garden City Cougars. And last time they had the ball, it was Dylan White on the receiving end of a 21-yard pass from Kyle Becker for a touchdown.
You know what? Set a running play up here and go right back to that play. Make the Orioles stop it.
Giangrande, the lone back in the backfield, and he is going to.
Nice counter
play, and whirling ahead, trying to get some extra yardage out of that is.
We're at 2:09 of the 1st quarter here, 6-6 tie. Garden City with the ball deep in their own end here as the Orioles scored first, and the Cougars answered with a nice pass play to White, and Becker's coming in with the signal.
Dylan White comes out of the game. And that was him on the counter play as Kyle Becker will be up under center. And he's going to have Giangrande, the up back, and then the deep back is going to be, I think, Avery Emerson, number 11. 2 wide receivers split out to either side. Becker calling the signals. This Emerson, and he is knocked back. Wow. That was a stonewall right there, Ted. He ran into his own man, took a step back and said, anybody get the number of that truck that hit me? And then tried to move forward, but by then the Orioles had closed in defensively and reeled him down. That'll bring up 3rd down and about 4.
And Alexander Zoltowski, who's the number 44, was a man who had to grab his shirt and planted him rudely.
Final minute of the 1st quarter of action, 6-6 ball game here. Garden City Cougars, Kyle Becker calling the signals. Deep back is Giangrande. 2 players in the slot. This one's to the slot receiver or slot handoff and basically goes forward. That's Dylan White, and he's going to lose yardage. That's going to bring up 4th down.
Now see what that punt did? It's taken you out of 4 down territory because you're deep in your own end. And let's see if they have a punter, what they're going to do. We haven't seen them before, but you are now in a situation where you almost have to punt. You can't go in for 4 downs.
Tanner Davis comes in, number 7. Kyle Becker's the quarterback, number 21.
It looks like they're going to go for it. So this is a risk.
They're going to get the play off before the end of the quarter. This will be the last play of the quarter. And Becker back to pass. And he throws for the screen. Dylan White grabs it, and he's making his way upfield, Ted. And it looks to me like he's picked up the 1st down up over the 35-yard line.
A very good, risky play.
And Dylan White showed a nice pair of hands right there as he reached up and grabbed that one out of space, reeled it in, and then moved forward and fell over the 1st down. And that'll end the 1st quarter.
We're going to go back down to the field here. The sun is shining. No fault of Doppler Tom, but let's see if Tom has an excuse why the sun's out.
All right, well, you see that the sun is starting to come out. It looks like the rain is finally moving out. But the clouds will continue to move in and out, and the sun will be in and out. But I do think that the rain threat will be pretty much done for the remainder of the game. But this rain all out throughout the day has really brought down the temperatures. It's pretty chilly out here. Those temperatures are in the 50s, and as we head into the overnight, it's going to be in the 40s. So it's very chilly, but it's good that the rain is now ending and that everyone can put down their umbrellas in the audience, but they need to keep their jackets because it's chilly out there. So keep them on.
And we're wondering if we can get an idea about the field out there. Is it wet at all, Tom?
The field doesn't look too wet.
Well, we need a cameraman to go out there and throw Tom on the field to find out if the field is wet.
He's got a slicker on.
Well, I want to thank Tom for bringing the sunshine out because it looks a lot better on camera. Thanks, Tom. All right, a nice daring play there, Phil, to end the first quarter.
Fourth down in a bunch.
I like the way Becker handles the ball back there. He's been very smooth, and he looks like he can really hide the ball and when he does that bootleg. So let's see if they go back to that pass play.
And that's Dylan White in motion, and he's got the pitch, and he's trying to find some running room, and he barrels over the Livonia defender and just puts a licking on him, but basically loses a yard on the play.
We have a defender getting up slow in the back for the Orioles there as he trots out. So a quick start for Livonia and answered right back by the Cougars, and we have a tight game here. A lot different than the first game we've done today where they scored 101 points there. I told you early in the game the over and under was 93.
That's right. You're taking me to the Golden Feather tonight for ribs for two. And that's just for me. Kyle Becker calling signals here, second down and 11, and he hands it off to Giangrande, and Giangrande couldn't get moving, and he falls forward basically to the line of scrimmage.
Well, the front four for the Orioles just crushed the Cougar line on that play, and you can't, sometimes your back is slow, but sometimes nobody blocks for them. And the back is no excuse.
Right. And you like to see, you want to teach those guys to have their legs moving, Ted, to really create a power position. But in this case right here, he couldn't even get his legs moving whatsoever before he was wrapped up and brought down.
Well, we saw that a couple times in the junior varsity game where the Cougar quarterback just kept his legs moving and the offensive line shoved him over into the end zone.
10 minutes to go in the second quarter. There's the third down and 11. Kyle Becker calling the signals as I formation for the Garden City Cougars. 6-6 ball game. Becker back to pass, and he finds
Number 4 for the Orioles, if he read that correctly, could have stepped inside of that, and he would have had nothing but green grass between him and the end zone. But he instead of going for the ball, he played the man. In case he missed the ball, then it wouldn't have been a big play.
Bring up 4th and 11, punt formation as Becker is going to be back into punt formation. That'll bring up 2 deep men. Evan Cummings, number 9, is on the near side to us, and the far side we have yet to identify. And there's a nice lazy kick, reeled in by the far man, and he's dropped right on the spot, and that's number 4, Jake Olson. Olson will be brought down right at the 46-yard line, and Livonia, the Orioles will be in business right there, Ted, and it's a 6-6 ball game.
Now, this is great field position to start for the Orioles, but remember, this field position was attained by that quick kick they had on 4th down where the Cougars had nobody back to cover that punt. So this change of field position all goes back to that first quarter punt.
Yes, Garden City did get a first down out of it, but weren't able enough to change the field position as the power I formation, as we're calling it, in tighter all the blockers. And the ball's handed off to the back man, and he finds some running room up there as Cummings hands it off to him, and he goes forward for about 2 yards, and that looks like number 1, Logan Fryer.
You notice these guys are a little bigger there than in the last game.
Once again, calling the signals for the Orioles, Evan Cummings. Cummings has a touchdown pass to number 84, Domzalski.
Well, the Orioles opened up in that spread formation or the Wildcat. Now they're playing a more conventional offense.
And Evan Cummings calls his own numbers. He squirts ahead, and it's going to bring up a third down and about 6 to go.
9:16 on the clock here in the second quarter. Omni Edition Sports bringing you today's action. This has been a long weekend for Omni Edition Sports. On Wednesday, they set up and did a soccer game. Last night, they were here for the high school football game against Thurston, and this is the second game of the doubleheader today. So 4 games on Omni Edition's extended sports weekend, and I hope you're enjoying it. If you'd like it, give City Hall a call. Ask Dan York and tell him you like what you see.
Absolutely. Dan does a terrific job. Everybody loves what they do here. Everybody has a great time, and we certainly enjoy being invited in to call the action.
I'm enjoying the sunshine here. It was cloudy most of that last game.
Typical fall day here, or first day of fall, if you will.
There's a pitch.
And it's pitched out to Chantrez, and there's going to be a flag on the play.
First down.
Chantrez finds some running room as he cuts back. There's a player down for Garden City, a flag on the field, and there's holding. That's going to come back. Chantrez, number 23, did a nice job cutting that one back up the field, Ted, but it's going to go all for naught.
Well, that flag's sitting there about the 49-yard line, and it's a 10-yard penalty from the spot, so the ball should wind up on the 39-yard line. Like you said, the last game was pretty well played, and there weren't a whole lot of penalties, and this is our second penalty of this game.
Well, penalties are going to be part of the game, and there's some people that say they can find a penalty on each and every play, but you just don't want them to affect the game overall as the main thing. You've got to teach these young guys on how to, the fundamentals of the game, but you don't want overall the officials to take over the game at any particular point.
Well, this is the best thing about this kind of football is that now these players are in their 7th and 8th year of playing football. There should be a lot more discipline at this level than there is at the younger levels.
Power I formation, as we're calling it. Evan Cummings under center, and he drops back to pass, and he's got a receiver open, and he catches the ball, reels it in, and it's off to the races, Ted. He's down to the 10-yard line, and he's going to go all the way in on a nice 63-yard bomb play.
Well, that was all set up. That was all set up by the fake run. And you draw your corners, you draw your safety in looking to stop the run, and your wide receiver sneaks behind him. Once he catches it, it's out, like you said, off to the races.
Kevin Colangelo, a nice tall target down there for Evan Cummings, found him. He reeled the ball in. That was the first order of business when you're at this level, is reel that ball in and then start moving forward from there. And he had that nice long stride, and the Cougars were just not able to catch him. 63-yard bomb. And that rivals the 64-yard one that Domzowski caught earlier.
And that was from the 39-yard line, right? So what I liked about that play was the run fake, and you saw the corners come up, and once the corners take one step up, their momentum is going the opposite direction of the play. And the wide receiver got behind him. Nice pass, though.
Yes, he hit the receiver, and that's what you like those taller receivers for. Sometimes the shorter guys, they can kind of create some things themselves if you hit those guys out in space. But in a play like that, when you've got to look over the alignment and everything like that, it's always nice to see a big, tall target down the field. And that's exactly what happened there. He threw it up nice and high, and nice catch by Colangelo, and then he ran it in for about 25 yards after he caught it.
Well, if you look at the receivers, you go into college or you go into the pros right now, 6'3" is almost a small guy, 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". The taller you can get, the better.
And in all of that, though, the Orioles did convert on the extra point for 2. So they're now leading 14-6, and that ball is drilled right to one of the hands people, number 46 for the Cougars, and that was
Matthew Blackmore? Is that 46?
45.
Briscoe.
Briscoe just nailed it, reeled it right in, and 49-yard line.
What you saw Briscoe do, though, is he didn't hesitate. That ball came at him, he grabbed it and went down. And we've been seeing onside kicks all day long, and a lot of them have been adventures. And that one, Briscoe just decided, I'm going to grab it, I'm going to play safe, I'm going down.
right in its great field position, starting out at the 49-yard line for the Cougars. And back in at quarterback is number 2, Vincent Murray. Murray at quarterback, I formation. Receivers in motion, and he cuts it up, and Murray's calling his own numbers. He's trying to get outside, Ted, and he's going to fight his way ahead for about 2 yards into Oriole territory.
You see more and more of that. That's the old Tim Tebow influence. Your quarterback just taking the ball. It's a call, design play. He has no intention of handing it off, no intention of passing. He just puts the ball under his arm and heads off in the other direction.
Yeah, he clearly put that ball in. He did exactly what that and was able to get ahead for a couple of yards on that, or actually 1 yard at the end of the day. 2nd down and 9 inside of Oriole territory are the Cougars. They're trailing 14-6. We have 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter. I'm Phil Henry along with Ted Fournier, bringing you varsity action for Omni Sports. Pitch back to Hunter Sparks, and Sparks moves ahead up over the into the 43-yard line, and that's going to bring up a big 3rd down. 3rd down and about 3 to go.
Now you see a wholesale changes here. Once again, we remind you, in this level of football, everybody has to play. I think the number of plays is 5, a half, and you see wholesale changes all the time here. And so this is just the coaches making sure that everybody gets their required number of plays in.
And that brings Kyle Becker back in at quarterback, I formation for the Cougars. This is a big 3rd down play as they're trying to get themselves back into this ball game.
Nice run. Almost it's going to be really close to the 1st down. From my angle and with my bad eyes, I think it's pretty well. It depends if it's a left foot or a left foot spot or a right foot spot.
And they might bring the chain gang out on this one, Ted.
Well, it's going to be...
now the official moves it back. He didn't like the original spot, and he's moving it back.
Those officials have a little say. You know, I don't like the ball here. I'll move it up.
And they're still trying to decide whether this is a 1st down or not.
They should just official timeout and measure. Yep.
There you go. Well, where it was originally marked, it was definitely a 1st down. Then the next official come in, moved it back, and then he was trying to eyeball it.
Didn't we do a game one time at Grosse Ile where it seemed like every time they spotted the ball, the ref just took it and moved it 1 foot back? I mean, we called that all night long. And Kevin Kramus having a little fun with the music up here in the press box. Now, if I'm is Becker in a quarterback? If I'm Becker, I just check out where the blockers are on the line, and I follow my big center, and I fall forward for a yard here and get a 1st down.
Coming in the I formation, Dylan White will be the deep back in the I formation, and Kyle Becker will be the quarterback.
Don't even take the time. Just hike the ball and just grab your quarterback, your center's belt, and follow him for a yard.
4th down and 1 right here at the 41-yard line. And they hand it off to the up back, and that's powering his way forward. I think is going to be John Giangrande, number 34.
Well, those are tough yards. You know, you're going to get hit if you go there. But basically, I don't like the risk of turning around and passing them.
Yeah, handing the ball off like that, you know, in that particular situation. So it does move the chains. It'll be 1st down and 10. 5 minutes, 55 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Garden City on the losing end of a 14-6 score. The Orioles put 2 long touchdown passes into the end zone.
This would do a lot for Garden City psyche to have a nice drive here and put it in the end zone, tying this game up.
In the I formation, Becker calling the signals. Pitches back to Dylan White. Dylan White doesn't like what he sees on the inside, tries to get to the outside, and he's brought down. He's going to lose about 2 on that one, Ted. That'll bring up 2nd down and 12.
Well, we talked about it a lot earlier this afternoon, how hard it is to stop and cut on this field because of the moisture that the field's gotten in the last 24 hours.
Right, we had Doppler Tom down there doing a field forecast for us that time. I don't know that the wetness caused that. I think he just didn't have just didn't get a good plant in on there.
Well, I want his parents to think they were giving him an out.
Sorry. I formation. Dylan White is going to be deep in that, and John Giangrande, I think, is the up back. Kyle Becker calling the signals. Oh, here's White in motion right here. It's a double reverse, and White has lots of running room.
Oh, look, the corner came up and made him hesitate.
And he's busted loose, and he's down the sideline 10, and I don't think anybody's going to catch him, and he's going to go all the way for a 38-yard double reverse.
Well, there was one man that had chance to stop that play, and the corner came up and made him hesitate, but he didn't wrap him up. But that was the only man that had a chance of stopping that play.
Absolutely. The Oriole player shedded the block of the wide receiver out there, and it was a one-on-one situation with him and Dylan White, the running back, and Dylan White put the move on him, gave him the left leg, and then took it away from him, and then found some nice running room down that far sideline, and he wasn't going to be caught from the 20-yard line on in.
Well, this is turning into a heavyweight fight here with, all right, I take a punch, and I'll give you one right back here, and it's 14-12. They're going to go for a one-point conversion here.
Becker calling the signals from that I formation. He's back to pass. He drops back and he finds a flanker, and he gets Dylan White once again. Dylan White is going to be wrapped up and going to be brought down with no chance for the extra point. So
we've got a replay here, Phil, on the touchdown. Watch him get around the end here. Once he gets past that corner, it's just a foot race, and he's going to win it.
Yeah, he did a great job of turning the corner, and like you said, once he squared his shoulders up with the parallel with the end zone, he really kicked it into another gear. Dylan White, is really, after that drop pass there in the first quarter, he's really been a nice account of himself in this game as he has both Garden City touchdowns. 14-12, 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter of action, and this game is looking like it's going to be a close one from here on out.
Well, what you saw is the character of Dylan White. He had that drop, and I thought it was very important to go right back to him, get him back in the game, and they did go right back to him on a running play and then the touchdown, and now he has 2 touchdowns. On that extra point, that pass made the receiver turn around. If he caught it in stride, he had a chance, but once he turned around and caught it and had to go inside, all the pursuit got him.
Well, yeah, that's, once again, the ball is just corralled in and dropped down by Logan Fryer at the 41-yard line. That's where the Orioles will take over 1st and 10 at that particular point. But on that play, Ted, you have a pet peeve about them running east and west. I mean, that was thrown behind the line of scrimmage.
Right.
And they're just two, you're down there inside the red zone. Everyone's bunched up right there. You need to throw that ball in the end zone.
Well, that's tough things to. Yeah, I see your point. But once he cut inside, he had everybody on the inside linebackers and stuff coming out. He had no chance of getting in.
Yeah, and that could have been the second or third, option in that particular play for Kyle Becker. But it goes all for naught, 14-12, and the Orioles are in business right here. Evan Cummings behind the center, working out of what we're calling a power I formation. Deep back is Chantrez, and the first play of this drive is handed off to Chantrez, and he's got lots of running room, and he is brought down on a very nice tackle out there, and probably a touchdown-saving tackle by Brendan Walcasey. Grabbed him right around the waist and flung him down, Ted, because he had pay dirt in front of him.
Well, years ago, a friend of ours by the name of Jay Stroessner described a football to us, and he said, the game is very simple. If my big uglies wipe out your big uglies, I win. And that's what happened on that play. The front line just wiped out the defensive line of the Cougars, and if he couldn't got 10 yards on that, there would have been a lawsuit on that one.
Absolutely, and once again, we see a lot of these runners that are real adept at breaking the play to the outside and finding good running room out there. Power I formation again. Evan Cummings is the quarterback, and he hands it off to Chantrez again. And same play. This time, though, it's going to be marked for about a 2-yard gain. It's going to be second down.
Jacobs getting good. He had good blocking at the point of attack there. A lot of times a 2-yard play can be a very effective play, especially if you got some penetration in the background. You could lose 2, you gain 2, you're 4 yards. You shouldn't have got those 4 yards. Boy, the sun's out here, Phil.
The up back is number 84, Domzowski. He's the one that caught that 64-yard screen pass. Behind him is Chantrez.
What a beautiful play
There's a
that
pitch
was.
to Chantrez, and he's once again trying to get outside. He looked at it, he's changing hands, and he
Fumbled
right
out
there.
of bounds. Fumbled out of bounds.
Vincent Murray pulled him down, but we talked about that earlier, Ted, when he changed the ball, when he changes hands with it, so in case it does get poked out, then the more likely it'll go out of bounds, and you'll retain possession.
Well, we've seen that on the backs all day today. A lot of times you have to teach the basics, but these young men have been changing the ball as soon as they get outside. You've called it a number of times. They put the ball on their outside, and just like you said earlier, if the ball gets poked out, it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, you retain possession. The power I formation, this time they moved the power runner to the opposite side. Evan Cummings under center.
Cougars
Long signal count, hands it back to the deep back, number 4 in there at the deep back position, and that is Jake Olson.
You talk about the chess game and the football game, and that time the defensive coordinator for the Cougars brought up everybody. He had 9 men in the box, only 2 men back, anticipating a running play, and there were just too many Cougars to let that Oriole play work.
Yeah, and that was looked like Gian Grande, I think number 34, got Olsen around the waist.
We've
seen a lot of waist tackles today. They get their mitts on there.
We've seen a lot of headhunting too. We've seen a lot of high tackles.
Cummings is the quarterback, and he's going to be in the shotgun formation. His wingman is number 1, Fryer.
I like this
second
offense.
and 12.
Man in motion. Nice pitch.
Pitched, and he's trying to find some running room on the outside as Jake Olson lets his shoulders lead him ahead, and he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and maybe a yard or 2 beyond that. And Olson's a little slow getting up.
2:44 on the clock here in the first half. Omni Edition Sports bringing you today's game.
That's what I forgot, Omni Edition. I saw the E, and I just couldn't come up with it quick enough.
Right straight ahead of there, Phil. I went to the eye doctor this month. Obviously, you did.
The carrot juice just isn't working. Okay, here we are, 3rd down and 9. Time is clicking off here in the first half, 2:30 to go. Now they're going with their spread offense. Number 84, look at him, Domzowski, and behind the quarterback, the man in motion is Chantrez. Cummings takes the pass. He's looking outside. He's got a receiver downfield, and this time it's well defended.
Jump ball.
Garden City had the receiver, basically became a receiver at that point, Ted, and it was a battle for the ball down there, and a terrific defensive job. We're looking for his number here. 28, Dylan White. No stranger to the offensive side of things.
I told you they have a spotter in the next booth. So if you just hesitate on the name and listen to the next booth, they have a spotter over there. So all you have to do is repeat.
Once again, spread formation here on 4th down and 9.
This is a big play for Garden City. If they can get the ball right back in.
Straight drop by Cummings, and he's throwing it, and it's off of his hand, and it's out there, and it's going to be bobbled and reeled in, but it's going to be out of bounds by the time he actually did it. And I believe that's Dylan White again.
Well, if it was going to rain again today, it would have been after that pass, because that was a cloudbuster pass. That one went up and down, and it took too long to get there.
Yeah, it looked like it came off his hand in an odd fashion, Ted. It looked like, to me, I thought it was going to be well out of bounds when it came off his hand. He got a little too much loft underneath of it, and I think, like you said, it kind of touched one of the storm clouds that just passed through, and then it came down in the hands of Dylan White.
Well, that's how you measure a quarterback's arm. If he can get the ball down there on a line drive, he's got a strong arm. He's throwing rainbows at you. That's not good.
Taking over on downs is Garden City with 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Going to be in running formation as Dylan Becker hands the ball off, and number 11 trying to find some running room here, and that is Avery Emerson on the counter play. Gets back up to about the 32, 33-yard line. Be 2nd down and about a long 8 to go.
They got a minute 50 seconds to get it down here, and remember that Becker has shown that he can pass. And let's see if they have not gone back to that touchdown pass since they tried it twice.
Yep, and that was the play to Dylan White, the one he dropped and the one that he reeled in for a touchdown. Both teams have 3 timeouts remaining as the first half is coming to an end. Becker in position behind the center. Hands it off. This one's Emerson again. This time he tries to bounce to the outside. He's got room.
Oh, great play over across the midfield down to about the 47-yard line.
Evan Cummings, the quarterback for the Orioles, had to play great defense right there as he got a nice sure tackle on Emerson as Emerson was heading to the goal line, Ted.
14-12 here in the last minute 13 left here in the first half in Garden City trying to go ahead.
Well, that's that play that starts running east and west, and then it's all a matter of when he finds the hole. The other times he tried to cut it in too soon and was met with a host of tacklers. This time he waited till he got it to the outside and actually got some nice running room once he got around the corner.
Well, he got some nice blocks from the receiver and the tackle there.
Becker hands off. This is Dylan White. Dylan White finding some running room as he whirls his way up for about a 5-6 yard gain down to the 42-yard line. A timeout called by Garden City as they'll use the first of 3 with 1 minute and 5 seconds to go here in this first half. Garden City with the ball, and they appear to be driving.
Well, this would be a great momentum changer if Garden City can go into halftime with the lead here. They're about 42 yards away from pay dirt. They trail by 2. 2 touchdowns for each team. Garden City missing their extra points, so it's a 14-12 game. And Garden City here needs something to happen. They've lost the last 2 games. The freshman and the junior varsity both Orioles won those games, and Garden City would like to
kind of show them who's boss here, you know.
Well, come home. Somebody feel good.
Yeah, be a rude host at this point. Being a gracious host hasn't worked out, so now it's time to be a rude host right here and take advantage of the visiting Orioles.
Great program. I like the new attitude over here. If you look at the center of the field, they've got the Cougar head, the new logo for Garden City High School in the middle. They got the Cougar flag flying over there under the American flag. Brand new uniforms. A whole new attitude here as this program is feeding the Garden City High School program. Coach Murray for the high school is overseeing the program here, and these kids are getting the consistent coaching from 8 years old till they're 18 years old. So it's 10 years into the same system, and eventually this thing's going to work.
Absolutely, I agree with you 100%, but it does start at this level right here, and this is your feeder league for the Friday Night Lights. As Becker, does a little razzle-dazzle, calls his own number, tries to fake, and gets out of bounds very, very smartly, Ted, as he gets down about to the 35, 36-yard line.
What you saw there is some football sense. Becker had no intention of passing. In fact, as he raised the ball, I looked on the line of scrimmage, and he might have been across the line of scrimmage. But just by raising the ball, he had made a couple defenders hesitate. He picked up a few more yardage. I like the football sense under this young man.
Absolutely, and then to add to that, he got out of bounds as we're now under a minute to play in the first half, so he didn't have to use a timeout and the clock stopped. To get things set. He's
forcing the Oriole coach to use a timeout. So, and actually that timeout helps the Cougars because now the Cougars can set up 1 or 2 plays and go out there and maybe run a play, get right back up and run another play.
Well, that's definitely part of the chess match that you referred to earlier, and we've got some scheduling here for the Cougars coming up.
Well, they've 0-3 coming in today's game, and they're making a game out of today. Then they play the Stallions next week. The Gators, I think that's up in Walled Lake, and then they head over to play the Blue Jays at Bentley and the Ravens. So they have a couple winnable games here coming up for them. And they're going to be gone their last 3. So next weekend is their last home game. So come out and watch them. It's like a party out here. You got a barbecue going out there. They're frying up some hamburgers, and they've got the cheerleaders going. And nobody beats Kevin Kramus on the microphone.
Absolutely. Not to mention his song selections. Boy, it gets me dancing in my seat up here. So we're 1st and 10 as the...
Imagine if he wasn't on Ritalin.
very entertaining time out here at the stadium, and this one was free to walk in. Walk right in free, WRIF. Runner in motion is Dylan White, is handed off to the up back Giangrande, and now the big man gets things rolling, and he's got pay dirt on his eyes, and he's going to go all the way to the house.
Touchdown!
36-yard run by Giangrande.
48 seconds on the clock. I thought he may have touched the chalk over there inside the 10, but the referee was right on his heels and said no, he stepped on the green part, so we have a touchdown. Big, hard running back right there.
That was the first time we really saw him get in motion and really be the load that he can be. Most of the time he got bottled up at the line of scrimmage. That time he got out from the line of scrimmage a little bit, Ted, and got his legs going, and he just powered past a couple of people and then showed a nice burst of speed.
Giangrande with the touchdown, and that puts them ahead here. They are ahead 18-14, 48 seconds on the clock here going for the extra point. Once again, we remind you, if you go for the conventional 2-point extra point, this is actually only a 1-pointer if we're running it in. Kicking it is a 2-pointer. And we got some confusion. You might have to call a timeout.
And they sure do.
Yeah.
I think they were still stunned. Like you said, they had called a couple here as we watched the replay of it, Ted. And here he comes right there. Boom. Run right over number 1 and then breaks it to the outside. Here's where he really gets going and really starts showing that nice head of steam. But number 1 really got nailed, and that was Logan Fryer. He's 105 pounds, Logan Fryer, and they said that's soaking wet. And Giangrande is a 170 before his last trip to KFC.
Now, I'm not sure if Giangrande is going to be your tailback in high school. At 170, I imagine he'll be a pulling guard.
Well, you like those odds, though. If I've got my 170 guy with his legs moving going against your 105 guy soaking wet, and that's exactly what happened as he ran over him, and then he bounced it to the outside and showed a burst of speed that we didn't think maybe the big man had.
You know what I like, and I don't know when they changed it, but back years ago when at the East football, they had like a 135 limit. You know, and you developed quarterbacks and you developed ends and running backs, but you couldn't develop linemen in this league because anybody that was over 135 was sitting on the sideline watching. But now they're letting, I don't know if it's unlimited, but they're allowing higher weight into this league. And now you get some of these kids that weigh 150 and 170. I mean, I weighed 175 as a freshman in high school, so, I mean, I couldn't play the junior football because I weighed too much.
Well, I know they had that controversy here, the kid down in Texas that was 300 pounds and wanted to play at this level, and rightly so, they didn't let him play. That would be a little ridiculous. As Kyle Becker calls his own number and will scoot into the end zone with the extra point. That's worth 1 point, and that will put 20 points on the board for the Cougars. And, that's 7 points on the board, so that makes a total of 19. So they're going to have, with 48 seconds to go in the first half, the Cougars have a 19-14 lead, Ted, and they're going to be kicking off, to the Orioles.
You know what, and we mentioned this earlier, Becker has the ability to do things with the ball in the background. If you didn't see it on the touchdown, we didn't talk about it, but even as Giangrande had the ball, Becker was up there doing a fake and carrying out the play. Becker can really handle the ball back there, and on that play right there, once again, great ball handling. Probably lost a couple defenders just on the ball handling.
Well, absolutely. That is so important, and you see that transfers into the next level, and that's just called carrying out the play.
Right.
In other words, follow through with the play, and you don't know. All you need is just that little split second of indecision by a defender, and that could make the difference between a big gain and a small one. Ball bounces around, and number 4 falls on it aptly now after that's Joseph Sanders. That is number 4, Jake Olson.
I absolutely love the way on these kickoffs how every play they're making the receiving team really work and really make quick decisions. And you get that oblong football running around there, and a lot of great things can happen. So
that was a classic case of it right there. Olson tried to pick it up about 2 or 3 different times and finally just fell on it as he felt the defending team coming in on him.
Well, let's see if the Orioles try to even the score here at halftime, open it up, or if they're content to just go into halftime trailing.
Well, they're in their their spread formation that you like so much, and then they pitch it out to Domzalski, and Domzalski is fighting his way. Luckily, he was out of bounds. He was about ready to drag one of the Garden City players into the end zone with him.
He looked strong enough that he could do that, too. Look at that. He's like a head taller than most of those kids out there.
Absolutely, and that was the spread formation that you like so well, Ted, where they have 5 down linemen and then 6 players. You take the quarterback as number 6, so they have 5 offensive players that have to be accounted for by the Garden City defense.
41.8 seconds on the clock here, time left in the first half.
Livonia has 2 timeouts remaining as Evan Cummings is piped over his head, and this is going to be a potential big. The ball just laying there. And we've got a scramble for it, and I think they're going to give it to Garden City.
Got the ball.
Wow, what an opportunity right there for Garden City with 35 seconds to go, Ted, as they recovered at the 30-yard line. And that was very peculiar because I don't know if that was Domzalski there, but he was just sort of standing there where the ball was right at his feet.
Well, that line, remember the old MASH movie where the quarterback, after a play like that, looked at the center and said, "What do you think you are, a cannon?" But that's exactly hit my mind. But that went over his head, and all he needed to do at that point is fall on it. You can't make that play any better. But Garden City with a great opportunity here, they are ahead in the game, and they can put a little icing on the cake here.
Gian Grande, the back, and this one's handled by Becker, a little sleight of hand, and he's in trouble now, and he's going to be wrestled down to the ground. A big loss on that play as number 63, Roman Darren was not fooled in any way, shape, or form by any sleight of hand by Kyle Becker.
Darren, he stood with that play because, like you called it, Becker was holding that ball low with a little deception. I keep thinking of an old quarterback for Ohio State by the name of Rex Kern back in the late 60s. And Kern was a magician with the ball in the background, in the backfield. And he could really hide that ball. And nobody knew where it was. And that Becker's got those qualities where he's doing things with the ball and it's hard to pick up. But Duran stayed with him that time.
Absolutely, and once he had him in his sights, he wrapped him up very nicely, and we're seeing some really great tackling all day here. Even that first game that scored over 100 points, there were still times there were some really great tackles, and we're seeing it transfer into this varsity game also.
Well, that 100-point game there, we both thought that the defense had stayed on the bus. I don't think we saw a whole lot of defense.
There were a couple of tackles, and the ones that were made were really good.
Most of the time, the plays wound up in that big part over there at the end of the field.
But that's the thing when you stay your position like Darren did, and then he just was able to reel Becker down. So that was a huge loss of 11 yards just when it looked like Garden City might have been able to take advantage of the big turnover themselves. So now they've got a couple of plays called in the hopper. They have no more timeouts left, 27 seconds to go. The Garden City Cougars are up 19-14. They're trying to take advantage of a turnover, and let's see what they're going to do.
Well, what is this? You call this formation here.
Yeah, this is the full house tee right here as the ball is snapped back to Becker, and he throws the one deep, and the receiver got turned around. Dylan White was breaking in the open, and the ball was thrown basically behind him, and he had to spin around, and then that left the Oriole defender as the best shot for the ball. So that'll bring up 3rd down and 21.
Oh, I really like today's football. Today's football is really involving, you got all these mastermind offensive coordinators, and you see formations that you never saw before. And that basically you have 2 tailbacks back there and the quarterback, and you called it, it's like a deep T, right? And he can hand it off either way. Either that or the 2 guys can step up and block for him, too.
Now they're back in the traditional I formation. Dylan White's down to the bottom of the screen here. Kyle Becker calling signals. Dylan White in motion, and this is going to be the double reverse that he scored on before. He deeks to the inside, gets to the outside, and he's going to be met there for a gain back to the original line of scrimmage, back to the line of scrimmage. So that's going to bring up 4th down
and they're going to let the
20,
clock.
And
they're letting the clock run out here. I don't think they had no timeouts left, and they let the clock run out here at halftime. And so we have a great game going here.
Absolutely. So we're going to take a little break right here for halftime, and 19-14, and we'll be back with third and fourth quarter action momentarily.
I'm lucky. Let me help you with that. I get to do something I love. It has nothing to do with touchdowns or titles. Everybody bring it in. I get to play a part in the life of someone just starting out. How many of you think homework is just as important as teamwork? I help keep kids in school. Good. And that's the name of the game. My name is LaDainian Thomason. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer. Live United.
KFC in Garden City is a sponsor of Omnidition Sports and GCTV, and one of the providers of food services for the crew and volunteers for tonight's game. Garden City's KFC is located on Ford and Harrison and is owned by Garden City residents Dan and Paul Bogowski, featuring all of the Colonel's great menu items, including original recipe, extra crispy, and grilled chicken, crispy strips, sandwiches, chicken pot pie, those famous sides, and more. So stop by Garden City's KFC on the corner of Ford and Harrison and tell them that you heard about them on Omnidition Sports.
So take these words and sing out loud, 'cause everyone is forgiven now, 'cause tonight's the night the world begins again.
Lona's Pizza in Dearborn Heights is a sponsor of Omnidition Sports and GCTV, and one of the providers of food services for the crew and volunteers for tonight's game. Located on Beachdale and Ford Road, Lona's is owned by Garden City's own Bob Oliverio and the Oliverio family. With the best pizza in Metro Detroit, Lona's delivers to all of Garden City. Round, square, or pan pizza, Lona's is the place. They also carry great subs, salads, and wings. Give them a call at 313-274-0100. That's 313-274-0100. Lona's Pizza.
For GCYAA football, the Garden City Cougar Varsity team is leading 19-14 over the Livonia Orioles. Hi, I'm Ted Fournier along with Phil Henry. It's been a wonderful game. Both teams slugging it out, with Garden City getting a late touchdown in the second quarter to take a 5-point lead. And they hope to hold on and win this game. Phil, it's been a surprise, actually. Some nice passing. Becker doing some great job with ball handling and passing. And Mr. White, after a slow start, has really come on to help this team.
Well, this has been a well-balanced game by both teams. It's really hard to pick out any one particular area that one team has excelled over the other one. One of the things that we have seen in that first half, Ted, that watch out for in the second half, there were some plays that were called by both teams that were absolutely successful, and they never went back to them.
That's
it's
right.
like they're keeping them for that last drive, if you will. So the Cougars are going to have to kick off here. They're leading 19-14 as we're getting ready to start the third quarter. And the Cougars are going to be on our right, moving to our left, kicking off to the Orioles. And this is going to start out the third quarter in varsity action, as the two other teams have lost today, so they're trying to, get one on the board for the good guys.
Orioles making a late substitution here, getting a new player on the field, and we're about ready to start. Garden City going to kicking off from north to south on this field, and then once again a little squib kick, and both teams are catching on and catching the ball and falling on it safely. And the ball will be at the 46-yard line, Phil. And let's see, the Orioles going to take over, and let's throw it back to you.
Yes, and leading the quarterback way has been number 9, Evan Cummings, and he's been pretty much under center all night, but they have shown a spread offense at different times. They started out with a spread offense, then they went back to more of a traditional power I formation, we're calling it, and starting out the second half, it looks like that power I formation with number 9, Evan Cummings, under center. First play of the third quarter. The good guys have 19, and wow, as it stormed over is number 11, number 11, Corey Rohrabacher was just, Cole Rohrabacher was just stonewalled right there.
Well, what happened is out of that power I formation, the Cougars brought up everybody but their safety, had 9 people in the box, blitzed the linebacker right through the middle, and he came through the line untouched. And very good positive play for the Cougars to start this third quarter.
And here's the spread formation now, as the quarterback is now in the shotgun formation. The ball is bounced off the hands and recovered right there at the 40-yard line by Garden City. And that was Domzalski. That was the tailback on that position right there, and he had hands of stone. I mean, that was, I thought, Roberto Duran, but that was clearly hands of stone there by Domzalski.
Well, basically, the quarterback committed to running, and then as soon as he came close to being touched, he made a very late decision to pitch it. And I don't think the trailing back was aware that he was going to pitch it, and it was a bad decision on the quarterback's part. And great break for the Cougars.
Brandon Wall-Casey comes into the backfield. He's the up back. In the center, over the center, is going to be Kyle Becker, as he's calling out the long signal. In motion is a wide receiver. Number 2, that's Vincent Murray, and he calls his own number, and Vincent Murray goes running to the outside. Now he is going to be part of a rugby scrum, and they whistle it dead right there as Vincent Murray comes in, runs his play, and he picks up about 3 or 4 yards.
There's 3 reasons that coaches pick out quarterbacks. 1, because they have a great arm. 2, they can run. And sometimes a coach will bypass those 2 qualities and pick a quarterback that makes great decisions. And the decision by the Livonia quarterback that time was not the right decision. And sometimes you're better off with a less skilled quarterback that makes great decisions.
Wow. 2nd and 7 as Vincent Murray is at quarterback and calling the long signals out. I formation for the Cougars. And it calls his own number straight ahead. We've seen this before. He's got some running room, Ted, and he's going to go all the way on a 43-yard quarterback sneak, and talk about a great decision. Wow.
Now, I don't know if that was his call or he saw something there, but sometimes when you don't have a nose guard and your middle linebacker is out of position and all you see is a center and green, you grab the ball and go.
Well, and that was fantastic right there. And then once again, we see so much today. We've seen a lot of points put on the scoreboard. These players, once they get an eye for that end zone, boy, they have extra gears that they are really able to access and get into the end zone as they're lining up for the extra point right here. That'll bring Kyle Becker back into the game. And that's John Giangrande, the up back, and number 11, Emerson, the deep back. I formation for the Cougars, trying to get the extra point on here. They lead 25-14. Becker rolling out. He's got trouble now. He draws it. And he is dragged down by number 63 in a great tackle over there by Hunter Templin, as Kyle Becker was going to call his own number there. And
watch the touchdown over here. And he just breaks the line of scrimmage and nobody's home.
And you know what? come out and he started the game, Vincent Murray did, and that was the first play from scrimmage was the quarterback sneak.
Right.
And he got about 5 or 6 yards out of that. And remember we said starting out this game, there were some successful plays that were never run again in that first half, and there was the one right there. And I think it was like, wow, what happened? And you were just talking about quarterbacks and what makes a great quarterback or how a coach picks one out. It's decision-making, it's great arm, and in this case right here, I would call that an intelligent decision made by Murray.
You know, sometimes, you know, the coaches are sitting on the sidelines looking across the field, and your quarterback comes up to the line and he sees something, and his brain tells him, you know what? I don't care what the old man says. This is what I'm going to do, you know.
So the score 25-14, 10 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Fireworks already, and Garden City kicks off the ball, and this is one of those squib kicks. And that one bounced around, but the second player that had his hands on it reeled it in and brings it down. So the Orioles will start with the ball at the 44-yard line, 1st and 10.
I've been reading an article about a coach, I think he's in Arkansas, who never gives up the ball. In high school, every kick is an onside kick, and he never punts. And statistics prove that he's right. And there have been times where he scored a touchdown, recovered 2 or 3 onside kicks, and he's ahead 28-0 before the other team ever gets the ball. His thought is, I want the ball. If you don't have the ball, I'm going to score. You know.
It's the spread formation here with 6 down linemen. Ball is out to Cummings, and he turns and fires down. Colangelo brings it in, and it's a big 25-yard gain. Colangelo is on the receiving end of a 61-yard touchdown pass, Ted, and starting out their second possession here in the second half, Livonia goes deep.
Cummings, he put that ball under his arm, gave every indication that it's a running play. At the last moment, as he's wandering out to his right, he pulls up and he throws that ball downfield. So it's a great fake by Cummings to set up that pass.
And laid it right into Colangelo. Colangelo does the first thing, and that is you've got to reel the ball in, catch the ball, and then he was dropped right on the spot by the defender. That brings up first down here at about the 27-yard line. Pitch off to Chantrez. Chantrez trying to find running room, breaks a tackle, and then he's stacked up and he gains about 4 yards to the 25-yard line. Well, it'll be 2nd down and 6.
The Orioles have made a number of mistakes, and if they can play mistake-free football, they're not out of this, but their mistakes and opportunities that they have given the Cougars today, that have given the Cougars an 11-point lead here with 9:23 on the clock.
Well, you're absolutely right. Just saw one here in the second half, you know, as the quarterback pitched late and the trailing back wasn't ready for it. Fumble recovery, touchdown for Garden City. And that's where we are right now, 25-14, power I formation. Hands off to Chantrez. He breaks one tackle, and now he's stacked up, and he was slowed down by the first, by the onrushing, I had number 84, but I guess maybe 64, Zachary Stevens did the slowing down of Chantrez, and then that allowed the linebackers to come in and clean him up.
Well, the Cougars are going to have to be good tacklers now. They cannot afford to let these runners break the first tackle and gain the extra 3 yards. They have to be sure tacklers at the first point of contact.
Ball at the 23-yard line, 3rd down and 4 for the Orioles. They're going back to the spread offense right now with 6 down linemen, 4 players to be accounted for. Chantrez in motion. Cummings going to call his own number, trying to get up the middle, finds and picks his way, and another quarterback sneak, or actually a quarterback draw, I would call that, and that's a 1st down, and the ball is going to be inside the 10-yard line and all the way down to the 8.
That is the new football offense. That's just hike the ball to the quarterback. I'm running. I'm going to look at the blocks. I'm going to follow him. The quarterback draw, remember the quarterback would go back, hesitate, and then go. That was a strict running play that is becoming more and more fashionable, in football.
I think you called it earlier, Ted. I think is more of a wildcat play
It's a
than a
wildcat
quarterback
play.
draw. You're absolutely right. The quarterback draw was a few steps back. And I tell you, master at the quarterback draw, we got to go back a few years, Greg Landry.
Greg, yeah. Nobody mentions him as a running quarterback. You know?
Spread formation has been successful for the Orioles on this drive, and there's the
Same
wildcat
play.
we're going to call once again. As this time the defense closes in a little bit quicker, but down underneath the 5-yard line to about the 4 is going to be Cummings, and that'll bring up second down and 5, if you will.
I go back to about 8-9 years ago. Northwestern ran that offense and scored 50-some points on Michigan with it. And then you go back 6-7 years ago, Tim Tebow won a national championship running that play. And that's basically hike the ball to the quarterback. He looks at the field, finds out where there's a hole, and he goes.
Spread formation still by the Orioles. They've had success with it on this drive. Cummings back, and this time he passes out to Chantrez. Chantrez out in space, but going nowhere. There's a penalty flag down, and this could be a potential big call, more than likely against the Orioles, Ted.
I don't know. Let's see. It came in there late, and it came in from the side judge, and if he was watching the play, it could be a face mask. Oh, offensive interference.
A push-off.
A push-off on the Orioles, and this was a big break for the Cougars.
Going to back them up mightily right now, so this is going to be a nice 10-yard walk-off, Ted, and that's going to put them now at in a second down and 15 to go, just outside of the 16-yard line, or outside the 15-yard line, we're going to call it.
Well, it's goal to go. They have to get in the end zone. They cannot get a first down, but it's second down.
Second down, 15, or second down and goal to go from the 15. It's kind of a wishbone with the quarterback in the way. He fakes it, he has it, trying to get outside, and wow, is he stacked up by number 64, and that is over there, 64 nailed him pretty good, and that's
Stevens?
Zachary Stevens.
That's the hit of the game so far. That was an authoritative tackle. That gentleman did not care, life or limb. He just went right into him and buried him, and that's to me, that's the hit of the game.
Absolutely, individual football, and an individual play by the quarterback and an individual play by the linebacker. Spread formation, players are all over the field. 5 down linemen, back to Cummings. He goes straight back to drop. This is that play that was successful. It bounces off of a helmet and down. Is it going to be considered a catch? Incomplete. Had to wait for a second.
That's a dangerous play, because what happens after that, if that one's intercepted, then all the blockers are ahead of the defense that time. So that play could backfire on you.
Well, the difference when we saw that play in the first half that went for a 64-yard pass was Domzowski was the one that was there, and he's like 6'3" or so. So this time they didn't seem like they had that tall, the defense had really bunched in on that particular play.
Well, the other thing is when you're inside the red zone, everything is crunched up. When you're on the 40, you can spread that play out and it works, but when you're inside the red zone, everything's a lot tighter.
4th and goal from the 17. This is it. All or nothing for the Orioles. Straight drop back by Cummings. He throws for the end zone. It's going to be a jump ball and knocked down from being a catch. Is out there. A great, terrific play by the Garden City defender. And that looks like number 28, Dylan White. And he's been not only all over the field on the offensive side, but we've seen several of them on the defensive side as he played that perfectly.
You talk about good decisions. Dylan White went back there, and he could have gone for the interception. And if he misses it, it's a touchdown the other way. And what he said is, I'm knocking that ball down. He didn't go for the interception. He just made the play that was necessary. Great decision and great athletic effort by Dylan.
So taking over on downs at the 16-yard line is going to be the Garden City Cougars. 6 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Garden City ahead 25-14. Calling the signals is Kyle Becker. Giangrande the deep back. And there's going to be possibly a delay of game as he came off quickly. And I didn't see any movement, Ted.
Offside, but
coming from the back, Judge. Now,
okay. All right.
If I had 3 calls to make, I wouldn't have made that one from where the flag came from.
How do you call offsides and double check the line of scrimmage from behind? I do not know. But the referee made the call.
That was a FedEx call, too. And if you notice the FedEx airplane coming in, maybe that's where the flag came from. The FedEx airplane says, hey, he's offside down there, and got a message to the official.
Remember, the regular reps are up in the NFL right now. So.
First down and 5. And it's a pitch back to Giangrande, and Giangrande has been in the end zone once today, and he's now running with a lot more confidence, Ted. As you see him, he's trying to get loose. He knows if he can get loose, he can make some things happen.
5:33 on the clock, and if Garden City can string a nice drive here together, what a statement as they got second down and short, and the ball in their end of the zone. But if they can get 2 or 3 positive first downs here, or even a touchdown, it'll be a real statement for today's game.
Yeah, keep in mind that the Orioles had the ball at about the 2-yard line, and then that big penalty on the pass interference really got them out of got Garden City out of a hole and put the Orioles in one.
Oh, there's a great tackle. It's going to set up 3rd and short.
Yeah, big tackle. You know, when those one-on-one plays happen like that, where it's the running back and you, Ted, and they happen. We saw the collision earlier. There was advantage Garden City. This collision was advantage Orioles. So that brings up 3rd down and 2. The ball's at the 25-yard line. 4 minutes, 39 seconds to go. Kyle Becker calling the signals. We got Dylan White, number 28 in the game. Number 11, Avery Emerson stays in. Coming out is Tanner Davis. Then going with the traditional I formation is Garden City. This is 3rd down and 2. Big play to keep this drive alive, Ted. And that's going to be 3rd and 7. As Giangrande was had a nice little burst, but it was a little too early.
Well, the flags are starting to fly. We had a pretty flag-free first half, but it's getting a little sloppy here in the second.
Now the sun is shining. It's a glorious day. First day of fall here, September 22nd in the state of Michigan. It's been a little chilly, but the sun's always a positive sight, Ted.
Beautiful sight from up here in the press box looking over Garden City.
3rd down and 7. This changes everything now. Kyle Becker, this is the I formation for the Cougar. Becker under center. Takes it, hands it, fakes it, does a little sleight of hand, finds the receiver down. He's wide open as Dylan White, and he's got the ball, and he's on the run, and nice tackle.
And that's the play that they scored a touchdown on earlier in this game. And once again, the Garden City defender gets behind the defense for the Orioles, and a great pass. Here's a replay.
Absolutely, and there it is. And right here, catches him in stride. He's bursting, but then the defender, the ball was actually a little underthrown, Ted, and that allowed the defender to really get into the play. If not, it would have been pay dirt.
What, Phil, remember when you were calling that play, he faked everybody out. Becker and his ball handling abilities are wonderful. He's going to make a nice quarterback as he gets older.
That's all set up by you just keep running the ball in the middle, then his ball faking abilities, and gets him outside. And boy, he's got the nice big arm out there as he now handed off to the deep back. And this is Giangrande, and Giangrande has got pay dirt on his mind, Ted, and he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. A 35-yarder. John Giangrande has put that one with his 36-yarder, and what a nice play that was. Once again, one play sets up the other, what sets up the other. We saw the fake to the run and then the rollout pass. Now this time right here, there's the run back. So they had to respect the potential pass. And Giangrande really takes some power running.
You know, a couple minutes ago, I was about ready to put him at offensive guard, but he keeps running like that, and I'm moving him back out to the fullback.
Well, you know what? His confidence picked up mightily. We don't know. We haven't had a chance to do any games earlier to find out what he's been doing this year, but his confidence picked up mightily on that touchdown run that he had earlier. You can see he's running with a lot of energy. And Becker...
Oh, you know what that was all about? it's a 17-point game. If they score an extra point, the first 8 players have to go sit on the sidelines. So Coach Burrick just said, take a knee. We don't need this point.
And Ted, that's why they pay you the big bucks. I'll tell you what, I was about to say, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before, but by gosh, what a great call that was.
What that does is let the first team defense play this next series and maybe take another 4 to 8 minutes off the clock before they, if they score again. But that's a 17-point rule that you don't normally see. What a great call.
Absolutely a great call. And once again, with a certain lead, then the other team gets to pick out 8 players, from your starters
right.
or wherever they want to take them from to sit out until the deficit gets under, that 18-point margin. And so rather than go for it, they just took a knee, and it's 17-point lead, and all starters are on board.
You and I have called the Peanut Bowl downriver. We've called the championship game in Dearborn Heights. We've gone to Eastern and called the Super Bowls out there, but I have never seen that take a knee on that.
As that kickoff return right there, just a little deep though, that ball is really bouncing around, and covering it up is number 5, Brendan Massey. But once again, very aggressive kickoff return, and now taking over with a set of downs with 3 minutes and 19 seconds to go here in the third quarter, and a nice comfortable 31 to 14 lead by the Cougars. They were trailing in this game one time, Ted, I believe 14 to 6.
Right. I would love to have a microphone on the opposing head coach. He probably is not going to send a Christmas card over to Burrick over here at Christmas.
Spread formation now with Evan Cummings still at quarterback. He's in the shotgun formation. There's a ball handed off on the inside handoff, trying to find some running room around the end. And wrapped up and dropped for about a 1-yard loss is Logan Fryer. Fryer just didn't seem to find the hole that he liked, Ted, and the play was strung out eventually until the Garden City defender was just all over him and dropped him for a 1-yard loss. That'll bring up 2nd down and 11 at the 29-yard line.
What? I'm still amazed at that call. It's wonderful, but what the situation is now is Garden City has their best players on the field, and they're going to have them on the field for this series, and we're heading here late in the third quarter, under 3 minutes.
Spread formation. 2nd down, this is Cummings, and this time he pitches out, and there he's waiting for the pitch this time, and that's the big man, and he's got his wheels moving, and he's slowed down, and they're grabbing him and finally bust him out of bounds well into Garden City territory. Has a run of about 40 yards on that pitch. The last time we saw that, it resulted in a turnover. This time right here, the sure hands people of Domzowski reeled it in and got his big legs going, and it was all Garden City to do to keep him from getting into the end zone.
Domzowski, he's 13 years old. He's 183 pounds. Probably hasn't missed a meal since he was in 3rd grade. And he's just a big drink of water out there. And none of the Cougars really wanted to hit him. They were all grabbing and trying to yank at him, but nobody wanted to put a shoulder to him.
Yeah, so now his spread offense has been successful for the Orioles, and now there's a quarterback calling his own number, and he's piled on as he tries to get basically to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard from there. That'll bring up 2nd down and 9 or 10 for the Orioles.
Ball's at the 39-yard line, 1:49 seconds left here in the third quarter. Garden City leading by 17, 31-14, and Garden City, like you said, you documented, it was 14 to 6, and ever since then it's been all Garden City. They've been helped by a few miscues by the Orioles, but some great play calling, and I want to keep mentioning the ball handling of Mr. Becker at quarterback, who has done a wonderful job, almost a magician-like, hiding that ball and making things happen.
So they're still in the spread offense. Are the Orioles. Evan Cummings going all the way at quarterback, waiting for a man in motion. This time Cummings looking for blockers out there, and he's in trouble as the play is being strung out perfectly.
Oh! Well, he undercut him there. What a great tackle.
Dylan White that was. It came up from a cornerback position, Ted. We've seen him back on pass defense, and this time he came up to be a run stopper and did a terrific job taking the legs right out from underneath of Evan Cummings.
White is a football player. That was a football player's play right there. Once again, it was that simple, hike the ball to the quarterback and let's go this direction.
Right, he had a player come in motion, so he had a convoy out in front of him, Ted. But basically, the Garden City team strung the play out just exactly what you should, and then Dylan White shot through there and grabbed him by the leg and brought him down. 3rd down and 11. This should be the last play of the third quarter. Pitches out to Chantrez in space, and he is nailed and dropped down. And number 34, that is Gian Grande, laid the lumber on Chantrez.
Garden City doing some tremendous hitting here in the third quarter as the clock is run out, and the score is 31-14 at the end of the 3 periods of play, with Orioles driving the ball. Is it 4th down on the 36-yard line when we start play, but we're going to have to move the chains. So,
well, in the natural progression of football, the natural progression, Ted, as we've got something queued up here, the Orioles schedule.
The Orioles are 2-1. They lost last week on a heartbreaker. The Braves, Stallions, Eagles, and Falcons, that's how they're going to finish the season. So the Orioles don't have a easy. That Falcons game is always a real tough game, as we documented the Orioles and the Falcons and the Blue Jays, and I can't remember the last one. Eagles. They are all Livonia teams, and there's a big rivalry among all those teams. We told you that most of the kids here for Livonia Orioles will wind up at Churchill High School eventually, and the Garden City Cougars obviously are going to represent Garden City. Some is 2 years from now, some of these kids might be playing JV or varsity football here, and this is the Cougar team of the future here, as these are the 12 and 13-year-old young men. And there's the Garden City cheerleaders, one of the better squads in this league. These Garden City cheerleaders and Palm Squad won a lot of championships at the tournament last year for cheerleading.
4th and 7 for the Orioles. Evan pitches it out to the trailing back, and he gets the first down and slides. Slides to Domzowski, the unusual play right there, as he got past the first down yard marker and just slid, came to a stop. Well, looks like he had momentum on his side, so on the 4th down and 7, they pick up the first down, and that's the first play of the fourth quarter.
Well, Garden City right now is already looking at the clock. It's 11:47 on the clock. They have a 3-score lead, and if it takes, they don't want the Orioles to score, but if it takes them 5 minutes to score and they get the ball back, things will be fine as they lead by 17 here in the fourth quarter.
Back to the power I formation as now Cummings goes up under center. He hands it to the back, deep back, and that's Chantrez. And bold back is Chantrez, and that's, I think, number 64 down there. And we've called his number a couple of times, Zachary Stevens, as he is really going. And I was about to say earlier, Ted, is that when you see plays like that, is the natural progression of things is that the runner his momentum is taking him forward. And anytime you see a player get carried back, you know that's advantage defensive player.
Well, one of the things you tell kids at all age, it's better to hit than be hit. And when the back comes up to you and you hit him harder than he hits you, he's going backwards. And that's a great defensive play. Ball's on the ground.
And that was almost one of the miscues that we talked about, And the Orioles come in here at 2-1, and Garden City come in here at 0-3. And the way this game has progressed, I think you would think the records were reversed, Ted.
The Oklahoma teams used to have those fancy running plays and stuff, and the problem is when you have all these little passing, little shuttles and stuff like that, the ball happens to hit the ground a lot more, and coaches tell you that's the last thing you want to do is have the ball hit the ground. And the Oriole offense has been mistake-prone today.
Yes, they have. And that play right there, I couldn't really tell. But here's the pitch out, and this is the big guy right here, the sixth, and he's got an eye on the end zone, and he's going to be all the way in for a 32-yard touchdown run as Domzowski took the pitch, and he just rumbled into the end zone. He was virtually untouched, Ted. There was no Garden City player that could get any whiff of him once he got rolling.
Well, I don't really know why they don't just run him every play, because basically he's getting the ball and he's not doing anything fancy. He's just angling toward the end zone and taking an angle to the outside, and he's been picking up 12, 15 yards every time he touches the ball.
And he might be one of those deceptively fast guys. We know that he's probably coming in about 6'3 or 6'4 and probably has a giant stride. And there's a miscue on the snap, and Domzowski's going to throw it to the end zone, and it looked like he tried to bat it down rather than catch it.
Tell you how strong this young man is. He picked up the ball and he just flicked it. It was just a flick of the wrist, and it was 15 yards in the air just with a nonchalant flick of the wrist. But that young man is a weapon, and with 9:57 left here in the fourth quarter, if they get the ball back, let's see if they don't go back to him exclusively. Because all they're doing is giving him the ball, and he's not doing any cutting. He's taking an angle to the outside and picking up 12, 15 yards. And like you said, he's 6 feet at least, and he's 183 pounds.
Yeah, and he's got that stride, and once he gets those legs going, I think that the shorter player, probably is underestimating his speed at that point.
Well, I'm sure no matter how much courage the Cougars have, there's this thought in the back of their head, I hope somebody else tackles him. I don't think there's a lot of volunteers out there to go after him.
So it's an 11-point lead for the Cougars with basically 10 minutes to go. And after that touchdown and then the muffed extra point, the Orioles are going to kick off to the Cougars. And the Cougars are going to be on the offensive. And they're going to be needing to take time off the clock, Ted, and possibly get another score right here, because now it's just an 11-point, which is still two scores.
Two-score game here.
And he kicks it deep. The ball hits, and this is going to be fielded, picked up by Dylan White, and he tries to do something on the outside. He changes field, and now he breaks a tackle.
He's gone!
And he's going to be going all the way. There's nobody going to touch him. 75 yards, Dylan White on basically a broken play, if you will.
And there's an injured Oriole, number, I think, 28, limping off the field. But, yeah, you're right. We'll see a replay of that. But the Orioles scored, and the Cougars said, oh, yeah, take that.
Wow. We have seen some football this afternoon. If you're joining us right now and you're just seeing catching up with the action as the Cougars just scored on a kickoff return, we did the JV game that you don't want to miss that one. You want to look into your
58-43.
58-43, and now this game right here has been just a tremendous game, and that was just a breathtaking play right there. We were just talking about a two-score game and how Garden City was going to get the ball and try to run it out, and the next thing you know, Dylan White starts to his left after he just picked it up late, Ted, as they're going for the extra point here, and there's going to be a flag on it. But what happened is he picked the ball up late, almost like it was a great kickoff, but maybe a little too deep for the coverage. He picked the ball up late, started to his left, actually broke a tackle there, and then broke it to the outside, and once he did, he got past one player, and then basically it was about 60 yards to the end zone.
Well, he went right along the sideline, which eliminates half the players because they're on the far side of the field, so he only had one player to beat. He broke that tackle, and then it was a foot race, and great comeback play. You take the touchdown, you absorb that, and you look back in your opposition and you say, yeah, we ain't done yet. Come back, try that one. And once again, the famous, we ain't going to get an 18-point lead touchdown.
And here we go on the kickoff return, and there it is right there. Here's his start, and then right there's the first one.
There's a tackle, he breaks, and then it's just a foot race.
Yeah, there was nobody at that point. There was a player trying to angle him down, but Dylan White just had way more speed. to beat the angle and basically went untouched for the last 50 yards of that play, but nice broken tackle down there.
You have all these players coming down their lanes, and they're drilled every day. Come down your lane. Don't give up your lane. And in that play, one step inside toward the middle of the field freezes everybody in their lane, and he cuts back out, and he has one player to beat to the end zone. He breaks that tackle, and it's done. And once again, I don't know, we're going to have to call that the Burrick. I'm not going to kick an extra point because my players are going to play, and we've seen that twice now today.
Yes, we have, because once again, over 17-point lead, and the other team can pick out 8 of your best players and have them sit off until the deficit is under the 18 points. And so rather than go for the extra point, they choose to take a knee. As this aggressive kicking style right here nets nothing at this point as the Oriole player covers it up nicely. So Orioles will take over 1st and 10 at about their 47-yard line. And 9 minutes, 43 seconds ago, and what was a 2-score game is now back to a 3-score game just in a matter of about 10 seconds.
Well, the only thing about that last touchdown is it didn't kill the clock much. It took 14 seconds off the thing. But
well, I think if you ask Mike Burrick what he'd like, I think he'll take the points. Okay, so here we are now, spread offense time, as we've got the what you like, Ted. We've got 5 down linemen, and then we've got 6 guys that have to be accounted for on the offensive side of things. Evan Cummings, and he pitches out to the number 84, and he's going to go all the way for a touchdown. There's going to be nobody catching. Dylan White's going to give up an effort, but once again, I think this is the 3rd time he's run the ball, and he hasn't been touched yet.
I'm telling you, it's a simple get the big guy to the outside and put 6 points on the board, and that drive took another 7 seconds off the clock, so we weren't thinking about 100 in this game, but we might.
I think it was 9:57 to go in this game, and we've had 3 touchdowns in 22 seconds.
That's exactly what we've had.
3 touchdowns in 22 seconds. The score is back now as they're going to kick the extra point, and this will be worth 2 at this level. The kick is worth 2, and there it is, up and way outside. So that will beat the score with 9 minutes, 35 seconds to go, 37-26. And here you go, Ted. Right there. I mean, there's just nobody even close. Nice attempt by Dylan White. Chase him all the way down, call him a couple of names.
He's got 100-yard rushings in the last 2 plays that he's run, and nobody's touched him.
Domzowski is, basically that's his 3rd touchdown of the day. He caught that 64-yard screen pass. I don't think he was touched during that run either. And then a 32-yard run on the outside, on the left side. This time he went 52 yards. And now the score is 37-26 with 9:35 to go. And Garden City's going to be receiving the kickoff.
The coaches for Garden City, Mike Burrick, Scott Bell, Ben Ferguson, Corey Brown, Jason Tuzak, and Ryan Nagel. At this point, I get the ball, try to get some first downs. Each first down you can take 2.5 minutes out. Let's get this thing under 5 minutes before you have to give the ball up if you don't score. And first of all, grab the ball.
That's going to be a fight in there, Ted, and this
is a big
kind
play.
Of a rugby type action. And that was a real tremendous kick right there. He had it high, and the Orioles say, we've got it. So it's going to be an onside kick recovery, and that's coming out of that is number 5 for the Orioles, and that's going to be Brendan Massey.
And that's a huge, huge play because now you have to stop. You have to stop, and don't be surprised if the Oriole coaching staff goes right back to their weapon here, number 84, Domzowski, and try to get in this game here. And I want to tell you, the last 30 seconds of this game has been unbelievable. You try to describe it.
I'm just sitting here shell-shocked, trying to take it all in. What looked like I was just talking about how Garden City was looking so good with an 0-3 record. And
look at the formation. Who's going to get the ball here? You call it.
Absolutely, as a runner in motion, and it's going to be pitched on the inside to Chantrez. Chantrez trying to get on the outside, and he does, but brought down and falls ahead for about 3-yard gain. That'll bring up 2nd down. They're going to mark it actually 2 yards. 2nd down and 8. and just inside of Garden City territory. The ball's at the 46-yard line.
This game is far from over here. It's an 11-point game. The Orioles have the ball as we approach the 9-minute mark, but they can score with tremendous speed here. And once again, Domzalski's in the backfield.
He's to the left of the quarterback, Evan Cummings. Cummings fumbles the ball, and he has to fall forward on it.
This has been the difference in the game. We've seen a lot of great plays, but the difference in the game has been the Orioles' mistakes, the Oriole fumbles, and they have put the ball on the ground. It seems like at least once every possession, except for the last one that Domzalski ran in. And this is what's kept Garden City in the game and actually giving them the lead. It's all the mistakes by the Orioles.
Absolutely, and they're just unforced errors, if you will. Evan Cummings in the shotgun formation, spread offense, 5 down linemen for the Orioles. Ball at the 49-yard line. Time ticking away here in the fourth quarter. Cummings goes back, he throws it, and it's intercepted! What a great pickoff right there by Matthew Blackmore as he went high in the air on that one and reeled it in.
Jacob Briscoe
calls Briscoe on it. I looked like a 48, but Briscoe went high in the air, used his height right there as he kind of sat back in coverage. There were 2 receivers in the area, and just a terrific individual play by Ryan Briscoe.
And once again, a mistake by the Orioles has kept Garden City. Now Garden City at the 8-minute mark has got to get a couple first downs. I don't think we'll see a lot of fancy stuff. We'll, if necessary, have the coaches count down the clock and snap it with 1 or 2 seconds left.
Vincent Murray at quarterback. He has a touchdown on a sneak today. Some 43-yard it was.
Nice long.
Pitches out. Number 41 is wrapped up nicely as Hunter Sparks gets forward probably to the line of scrimmage, maybe just a little bit beyond that.
This is where you take one day a week and you teach the kids how to kill a clock, Don't get up too quick. Lay down another 2-3 counts. Hand the ball slowly to the ref. Let the ref walk over there, give him another 5 seconds, and then have somebody on the sideline nod to your quarterback. Don't call for the ball until there's 2 seconds left in the count here. And they have taken about 35 seconds off the clock on this play. And you want to take as much time off on each play here and keep the ball in your hands.
Excellent point. And they also have to account for Murray, who's been real successful on quarterback sneaks. Long snap count right there, and he's going to call his own number. And he's
now stay in bounds. And
they're going to drag him out of bounds and wrestle him to the ground out there. And I think I agree with you. He came to the short side of the field on that one, Ted.
Yeah.
One would have thought maybe better call would have been go to the wide side of the field.
Well, I don't know what the rules are, but the clock is still going here. I thought he was out of bounds, but they must have called him in. And now, in 2 plays, you've taken 1 minute and 20 seconds off the clock here, and that's exactly what you do. Now you're looking at you got to pick up a first down. Because if you can pick up this first down, you get another 2.5 minutes off the clock.
Absolutely. 3rd down and 10. Ball is spotted at the 41-yard line. I don't know why the clock kept running, but it did, so that was in Garden City's favor. And now they're going to call timeout.
You don't like that.
Timeout, one of the first of 3, so that leaves Garden City with 2 timeouts. Livonia Orioles have all 3 of their timeouts. It's an 11-point game. We got 6 minutes, 29 seconds to go. I'm Phil Henry. He's Ted Fournier. And, Ted, this has been just an unbelievable second half.
Well, there was a 40-second part between the 10-minute mark and the 9-minute and 20-second thing. We had 3 touchdowns and another changeover of plays, but we are now to the part where the clock is against the Orioles. They trail by 2 scores. They've showed the propensity to score quickly, and Garden City is actually on offense playing defense. You're offensive, but you're thinking, keep the ball. Now with the stop clock, they're going to be able to take another 20 or 30 seconds off, and they're not going to be able to, they're not going to give up the ball until there's under 6 minutes. So you've taken a couple minutes off the clock with this drive. Now if they pick up a first down, everything is wonderful in Garden City.
Well, yeah, and absolutely. And then there's a quarterback change on that as Kyle Becker comes back in the game. Gian Grande is going to be the up back, and I think it's going to be Emerson is going to be the
only
we have to identify the deep back right now, but number 34 is the up back, and it's going to be a pitch out to number 28, White, and White is going to be knocked down in the loss of a couple of more yards, and that's going to bring up 4th down, a long ways to go at the 35-yard line, and one would think that they're absolutely in punt
they
situation.
have to punt. Even if you only kick it 20 or 30 yards down the field, you're that's a first down or 2 more that you make the other team have to get. And you should see a punt here, and as the clock is still counting down, we have 5:55 and counting, and the Orioles are going to get the ball in good field position with a lot. Oh, over his head, and he falls down on it, and the worst possible thing that could have happened to Garden City has just happened.
Wow. Just wow. This game in the past 4 minutes. 5 minutes of playing clock time has been unbelievable, and that is just one more of the unbelievable plays. As, like you said, the worst thing that could possibly happen is that was
Becker. The ball was over his head.
Was in there, and then he dropped it, and then not knowing with his back now to the onrushing Orioles, didn't know what was going to happen. The Orioles take over on that turnover. And basically now there's Cummings, and there he goes, number 84, and he is going to go all the way in one more time unscathed, 21 yards by Domzowski, and that play is incredible. Turn of events.
Well, first of all, the Garden City coaching staff by now should recognize whatever side Domzowski lines up in that formation, the play is going to that side. And it's a little pitch, a late pitch to him, and they have to spot him. They got to put their best defensive player watching that man, because whatever side he's on, they're doing nothing fancy. The ball is just going to that side. So you got to spot him, and you got to put your best defensive player on him. Watch this play. He's on the left-hand side, and this is just give me the ball outside, and nobody's home.
Well, that was brought in by Cummings, too, as he started taking a few steps to the line of scrimmage, and then he froze some of the defensive players, and then that allowed Domzowski to get ahead of steam and then pitched out to him, and he walked in one more time. That is the 3rd touchdown run, 32, 52, and 21 yards, and he hasn't had a hand laid on him.
And he hasn't done anything more than take the ball and angle to the sideline. Sometimes coaches will tell you, well, we didn't practice that. Well, during the game, you got to think outside the box, and if they're doing something that you didn't expect and didn't practice, you got to devise something.
Absolutely.
I don't know who the best defensive player is in the blue, but he has got to spot 84 the rest of this game.
Yeah, I think it'd be clear at this point right here with 5 minutes and 39 seconds to go that you put somebody on Cummings and then somebody on number 84 and then let everything else work out. And here's this aggressive kick that we've seen, and once again, it was recovered the last time by the Orioles, and this time it looks like Garden City's going to take over just inside of Oriole territory. So with 5:37 to go, the Cougars up 37-32. This is really going to be an interesting 5 minutes to play out.
Well, you need a first down. Garden City absolutely needs one first down, and if 2 would be nice, but one first down is absolutely necessary. And if you don't get the second one, you kick it as far down the field as you can kick it.
Yes, absolutely. And Kyle Becker comes in at quarterback. Once again, traditional I formation with 2 receivers flanked out to the left and to the right. The back man is handed with the ball, and this is Gian Grande, and Gian Grande is stumbled, and he gets his balance, and here he goes, Ted, down the sidelines, and he is, wow! Half the team took half of the team to bring him down out of bounds right at the 10-yard line.
Well, there's your first down, and the third option that I forgot to mention was give the ball to Gian Grande and see how far down the field he can go. I forgot to mention that option.
He is running with absolute confidence now, and I got to believe you got to give it to him. Look at him just plowing right through that tackler. Right there, he lost his balance. He gets it back again, and now every player on this is all hands on deck call right here. Look at that.
He
How
was-
many players it took to bring him out?
He was swinging that ball loose. That ball was coming out.
First and goal at the 10. Becker under center. I formation. Giangrande back there, and it's Giangrande with the ball. He's met. He bounces it back out. This time his momentum is slowed down after that first hit, and he is brought down right about at the line of scrimmage. That'll bring up second down and 10. 5:13 to go. 2 timeouts for the Garden City Cougars and 3 for Livonia. Those are going to come into play sooner or later, Ted.
Well, we are in 4 down territory, so Garden City has 3 more shots at a first down here at the touchdown because it's goal to go. But even so, if they can take 2 minutes off the clock here and they're stopped inside the 5-yard line, it's going to make it really tough on the Orioles.
Giangrande the deep back on the formation and the I formation, and the ball is handed off to him, and he's going right up the middle. Once again, momentum has him maybe getting a couple of yards inside maybe the 9 or 10-yard line as he's driven back by a host of Oriole tacklers. Time coming off the clock. Becker over to talk to Mike Burrick, and get an idea what he wants to call, looking at the clock.
Well, I don't know. This is going to, after this play, we'll discuss that. But if you got a field goal kicker, your field goal kicker would make it 8, and that's still not enough. I'd run it twice here because the worst that can happen is you're going to leave the Orioles in tremendously bad field position.
Giangrande the deep back. Dylan White at the top of the screen. Becker under center. There's the fake. This is the one that we like, is Becker calling his number. Oh, and there's going to be the fumble. The ball is on the ground, and it's going to be recovered by the Orioles. There is a penalty marker down. And this might go against the Cougars, and if it does, then it's probably going to be declined, and this is going to be Oriole ball.
Holding against the Cougars there. And watch the replay here. I don't know if we'll see the holding, but there it is. You saw it in the middle of the line, but there's the fumble. And guess who's Johnny on the spot there?
Domzalski,
who's done everything the
recovers
second
that
half.
one. I'm surprised he didn't get up and go on touching the end zone. Now the plot really thickens, Ted, as that was a big tackle by the Orioles as they really punched the ball out on Becker. And you usually don't see that at this level. We see it more on Sundays, where they're really going after that football and trying to punch it out. But that was a clear punch out right there by the Oriole player, and he was successful at it.
Well, Garden City now has got to decide how they're going to stop number 84. And basically what you're going to see is number 84 line up in that Wildcat. The ball is hiked to Cummings. Cummings takes 1 or 2 steps, and what he does is he draws the defender to commit to him. And as soon as the defender commits to him, Dombrowski's on the outside of the formation, and nothing's going to stop that train.
Yes, you got that absolutely right. And now there was a nice confab right there. 3:39 is left. There's 1 timeout for Garden City. There are 3 timeouts for the Orioles. They have the ball just about the 27-yard line, 28-yard line, and they've used a variety of formations, but their most successful one has been this one right here. So we have Evan Cummings in the shotgun formation, and to his right has been the big man, and here it goes. And this time, bam, he is met, and first time somebody's laid a glove on him, and who is that man?
Briscoe on the
Briscoe.
You have to have somebody on 84. And you tell that young man, if 84 walks off and goes over to Walmart, you go in line with him. I don't care where he goes, you go with him.
Well, here in Garden City, we prefer to call that Kmart. Seems how the original one's right there on Ford Road. So if he starts heading to Kmart, they sell Nathan hot dog products there now. And there it is. This time they're coming to the other side, and here's Domzalski, and this time he got tripped up and brought down, but not before a nice gain.
We're under 3 minutes, 3:56 gone, and I think the Orioles have called a timeout. And basically what you got to do is, even if you remember when we were kids and we'd play football and we'd say, you go down to the fire hydrant, you go down to the swing set, I'll go down to the maple tree and turn around.
Absolutely.
If you have to draw a defense in the sand now, you tell your guys, this is where you go. And like I said, you have to take your best player, and even if he has to switch sides, you just shadow number 84, because the Orioles are going to go to 84.
I don't think, and then you got to watch out though. You don't want to over cover on 84 and then leave somebody else. But I don't know that they have another big play threat.
You have one player that's hurt you. You put one of your best on him, and the other 10 will cover the other 10.
That's what you got to be telling your defense right now. Is this is 2 minutes 58 seconds to go, 37-32. The Garden City Cougars varsity is trying to make this the first victory of the day. The other two games were losses.
Well, the first victory of the season for them too. This would be a huge win for Garden City's team and their morale, and something to build on the rest of the season. See, Giangrande just switched sides.
So here we are, Evan Cummings, number 9 in the shotgun formation, and the trailing back to his left is Domzalski. He's been in the end zone 4 times today, and there's a movement on the receiver, Colangelo. He's in his set position, Ted, and he got a little happy feet out there.
That's a big play because it makes it 3rd down and about 8 or 9, a long 8, I think.
About the only thing good about that, for the Orioles was the fact that the clock was not running.
Well, they called timeout. They called timeout.
Exactly, but had the clock been running, that would have been nice to have that. So here we are, 3rd down and 9 now. Ball is spotted at about the 30-yard line. 3rd and 9, spread formation, 5 down linemen for the Orioles. Back up to Cummings, and there it is. Once again, terrific call, double team, number 41, Hunter Sparks, before he could even get moving. You called it, Ted. You were down there in that defensive huddle, and you called it.
Well, us coaches that, we sit all week from Monday through Saturday, being Monday day quarterbacks, Now this is huge. This is huge. And remember the pass play to 84. Remember they have tried to lift it over to 84 on a pass.
And at the bottom of the screen, number 80, Colangelo, has been involved in a couple of big pass plays today also. So this one right here definitely is going to be a pass play, and this one goes to the opposite side, and there is nobody at home, and that's going to turn over on downs to Garden City. The clock is going to stop with 2 minutes to go. The Garden City is going to take over on downs at the 26-yard line, Ted, and that was a great defensive stand. Great defensive calls by the Cougars.
What you like to see in a game is that at the end of the game, your players have learned something. Learned something. And what you saw right there in that last series is that the coaching staff has instructed the Cougars, and they learned how to stop 84. They made 2 big plays when Domzalski went to the right side, and that's the difference of the game, those 2 big plays right there. And the Cougar defense is a smarter defense right now than they were 10 minutes ago.
Absolutely. Hunter Sparks, number 41, making the big play. So here we are with Cougar time to run out this last 2 minutes, and then a handoff goes out to Giangrande, and Giangrande cuts it back in, and he's got end zone on his mind again, Ted, and he's going in all the way to pay dirt. 26-yard rumble by John Giangrande, yes it is, John Giangrande, 26-yard run. Wow. This has been an incredible football game.
I want to tell you, you do not know how much that run, how good that has made Garden City feel. Those young men have worked all season long. They have played. This is a good team. The Oriole team is a good team. And they've played some tough football, but these young men are going to feel so good tonight. The coaching staff deserves this. The whole program deserves this. This is a huge victory for the Garden City Cougars.
Well, and Giangrande has just been spectacular. Ever since that 36-yard run in the first half, he has really run with a lot of confidence. He's found the end zone now 3 times, and then that other one was about a 50-yard gainer, and it took half the team to bring him down at the 10-yard line. And here they go with a counter play to Dylan White on the inside, but he's going to be stopped up, so that's going to make it a with 2 minutes to go in this game. It is now 43 for the Garden City Cougars and 32, so it's back to that 2-score lead with 2 minutes to go.
You know, the fat lady's in the audience. She's humming here. She's loosening up her voice here. But, you know, 2 minutes to go. We've seen stranger things happen. What you got to do now, kick the ball as deep as you can. Get him down there. Go down there and make him fall on the ball, and then just play some defense. Even if you give up a quick score, you have a great shot at closing this out.
Yes, absolutely. But like you said, it's going to be a smarter defense that's going to take the field here after this kickoff.
Well, you called it. 3-4 plays in a row, Domzowski's not even touched. And what you got to do is you got to do something different. You got to touch him a couple times, you know. And when you touch him hard enough that he hits the ground, that's even more successful.
Absolutely. And the deep kickoff or the squib kick right there bounces around and just reels it right on in. So the Orioles will be in business with 1 minute, 58 seconds to go. They have 2 timeouts. The ball's going to be at about the 41-yard line, and it'll be 1st and 10 for them. So this is going to set up very nicely. I'm sure we're going to see the spread offense, which has been successful for the Orioles. They still have other weapons on the field other than Domzowski, and we're going to see what they're going to call right here.
Well, you got to get somebody just to stop him, just to stop him so a second or third player can get in there. That's why you put one man on him and you slow him down.
And he's going to be to the left of Evan Cummings. Evan Cummings in the shotgun, and he has a running mate to the right side. And Colangelo is the other player to watch at the top of the screen. And this one's going back, and he's throwing long to Colangelo. Colangelo is getting his big legs going, and he is very nicely covered by number 21, Kyle Becker, out there that was stride for stride with Colangelo. That was just the fly pattern, Ted. You run just as fast as you can. I'm going to throw it as far as I can.
You know, I don't know Mr. Becker there, but at the end of that play, he turned around and patted Colangelo on the shoulder pads, you know, in a sign of respect and a sign of I'm enjoying the competition, you know. And you see a lot of these young men playing the game, and when you see sportsmanship like that, it should be noted. I really, my hat's off to Mr. Becker out there.
Here we are, spread formation. Players Santrez in motion. There's the back to pass again, another bomb thrown, and it's double and triple covered right down there. Colangelo, and that was a leaping defensive player, number 28, White. You know, White did a terrific job batting that ball away, and Dylan White.
What I don't like about what's happening with the Orioles right now, their number one offensive weapon is a blocker. He's staying in and blocking, and you would think at his height, if they could get him out in the pass play, he would be more effective. But the last 2 plays, he has stayed in and blocked.
Almost a decoy, if you will.
Yeah.
And, you know, that has not been successful. That brings up 3rd down and 10, 1 minute and 49 to go. Cougars with the 43-32 lead.
Don't be surprised if they run this play here. You know, they've tried a couple passes, but...
And number 84 is... drifts ahead a little bit. Once again, a decoy, and here's the long throw by Cummings. He had a receiver on his horse, but he just threw it too far, and that was number 4 down there.
Well,
Jake Olsen outthrown, and that'll bring up 4th down, and this could be the ball game right here, Ted.
What I didn't like about that play is Olsen kind of wandered out there. On that play, you bust your hiney and you get out there as far as you can, and the quarterback's just going to heave it down there. You go out and get the ball. He kind of was looking back and just, you know, it wasn't full out selling out to go get the ball. And on that pattern, if it's a fly pattern, you go out and get it and make the quarterback get you the ball. He just kind of wandered out there, and he actually, the play was a failure after about 10 yards down the field.
The ball at the 41-yard line, 4th down and 10 right now. Cummings in the position. We got 2 wide outs on each side of the field. Once again, number 84 uses a decoy. This ball's thrown deep. It's into 1st down territory, and it's going to be knocked down. as it was basically thrown up for grabs. And I don't like that. I like his deep ball, Ted, but I don't like that ball. He put way too much air underneath of it, and it allowed, the defenders to get in on it, and they did a great job at batting it down. They're going to take over on downs with 1:38 to go.
Well, the great part about that series is Domzowski, who stayed in, was a blocker, your number one offensive weapon, stood in there and blocked for it 3 times, and he was never involved as a threat in any way.
You're absolutely right, and he should have been on the top of the screen on that fly pattern. Yeah. I mean, he had the long legs, so if your quarterback can loft it out there, I like his deep ball. He's got a nice deep ball, nice big spiral there, but boy, when he throws it up for grabs like that, it's almost like a punt. Now Kyle Becker going to take over I formation. Giangrande is going to be the deep back. Or no, he's the up back in this formation, probably Dylan White, the deep back. And there's the pitch out to White. White looking for, keep that ball wrapped up, and he just gets some nice down the center of the action, and that's going to run some time off the clock.
This is a time where you tell your backs, get the ball, 2 hands on the ball. All we need is you to fall to the ground a couple times here, and that's all you need to do, but don't do anything fancy. Grab that ball 2-handed and hold on to it.
That's going to bring up a 2nd down and 5 at the 36-yard line.
What a great opportunity here for Garden City, and it's just happy to watch this here as they fell behind early, and they never quit. They absolutely never quit. They took the Orioles' best punch, and they've hung in the game. They've taken advantage of all the opportunities the Orioles have given them. As the Orioles, I'm not sure if they knew they were playing football or basketball because they've been dribbling the ball off the ground here a lot.
Well, and I would think that the Cougars themselves created a couple turnovers, and then there were some other balls that were handed to them, and they were just opportunistic at that particular point to take advantage of it. And full advantage they did, and then the emergence of John Giangrande from the halfback position has been certainly a joy to watch, too. He has really made a great account of himself in the running back position.
And I'm sure all next week one of the topics on ESPN First Take Debate Show will be the taking the knee at 17 points over there and the strategy of that.
Not once, but twice. Here's a pull, once again pitched out to Dylan White, and he's going to lunge forward for near first down territory, Ted. Dylan White, once again, we saw him the first time we saw him in this game. He was dropping a wide open touchdown pass, and then since then he has been almost player of the game as far as I can tell, or at least one of them for Garden City, as he has really played a big game both offensively and defensively.
Well, you have to like Coach Mike Burek, as he immediately got White back into the game, and you know what? Somebody's going to have to remind Mr. White that he dropped that pass, because of the game he's had since, he totally can wipe that out, and the coaches would be well off to just say forget it, but basically they didn't let him dwell on that, and if you don't dwell on a failure and you make the kid have a little success as quickly as possible, you keep the player in the game.
You got that right, and he sure kept in the game, and they needed him. They needed every bit of him. He batted down passes. He made some key stops. He made some big runs. He got into the end zone twice, because the next time they went back to him in the passing situation, he was wide open, and he didn't drop that one.
I think, I don't know if they're going to the victory formation. There's still one timeout on the board for the Orioles.
Well, they were just short of the first down, so this is going to bring up 3rd and 1, but we're now under 1 minute to play. One timeout left for the Orioles. They need 2 scores. I think it's going to be run out right here. This is going to be
just the first down.
Kyle Becker lunges forward from the quarterback position for the first down. And as they unpile him right there, that stops the clock with 39 seconds to go. And as soon as they get the chains moved and the clock starts, we can start wrapping this one up, Ted. I think that this one I finally feel like this one can go in the win book.
Yep.
Before now, I don't know that I could have said that.
That's exactly right. And the Cougars are going to chalk this one up. I want to mention our whole volunteer crew coming out here under the direction of Dan York. Great direction by Christian Gibbons in the truck, and you'll see there's the victory formation, the taking of the knee, as we are now at 16 seconds. What a great game. What a great victory. And boy, is it good to be a Cougar today as the varsity Cougars take a 14-6 deficit and turn it into a 43-32 victory. Phil, what a great day.
Absolutely. It was a great game. So many stars of the game. So many guys grew up right before our eyes. A lot of teams, special teams and everything like that. Hats off. Some great coaching on the Garden City side. And once again, it was just a terrific evening of football. We saw 2 great games. If you're coming in late, be sure to find these games on your, on your timesheet and watch them because they're well worth it. Very entertaining football.
So, for Phil Henry, I'm Ted Fournier. We want to thank our entire volunteer crew here at Omni Edition who have had a very long week bringing you the extended sports series. This is the 4th game in 4 days. We hope you enjoy what you watch on Omni Edition Sports. If you do, give us a call. Tell Dan York thank you. For Phil Henry, Ted Fournier, your final score, the Cougars of Garden City 43, the Orioles of Livonia 32. Have a very good evening. We'll see you next time on Omni Edition Sports. Good night.